Hello, and welcome to an early stream day where we will be doing a couple of different things. First, we are going to be trying to shiny hunt some Porygon in Pokemon Legends Arceus. We are going to be waiting for some space-time distortions, or STDs, and we are going to try and get ourselves a few Porygon to get the full line, because we are trying to, do our shiny living decks. And I have none of the line so far. They only spawn in the STDs, so it's very little chance that I would ever encounter one out in the wild. So we are going to be specifically hunting for them. But because STDs take so long to load, what we are going to be doing while we wait for one to show up is we are going to be doing a bit of a review of my vacation, because I went on vacation, if you did not hear, and I took a bunch of really nice pictures and I wanted to show them off. So I am excited for this. I hope that you will enjoy just chatting for the most part, punctuated by some shiny hunting. But thank you so much, Crunchy and Solo, for joining the stream as it started. Hope you're both doing well. I completely understand, Crunchy, if you can't stay. I know I don't usually stream this early, but I have off because of the vacation, so... you think you figured out how to fix your account? Good, good. Glad to hear it, Solo. I hope that it will work out. It does show that you're still not a member, though. I'm at work right now, so I'll deal with it when I get home. Okay, fair enough. All right, so the game is already running. I just need to make sure that I periodically move my camera around and check to see if there's any space-time distortions forming up, which there currently are not. So, while we do that, let me check something real quick. All right, sounds good. But I'll give it everyone a minute before I start my spiel on my vacation, because, you know. Oh, there you go, Solo. You're a member now. Let's go. Draconic, welcome to the stream as well. Hope you're doing well. Hope all of you are doing well. I really appreciate you hopping in. Just gotta swap these around again. Perfect. So... is that your brand account, or is that your regular account? Because it's showing up as an S instead of your profile pic. I don't know. Alrighty. Means my main account is going to be a brand account again, but I can deal with that. Fair enough. Yeah, I have the same problem, so... I'm not too worried about it. It's a small inconvenience to not be able to receive or give gifted memberships, to not have to deal with all of that nonsense. All right. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. Thank you so much for liking the stream. We're going to try and get a like goal of 15. Appreciate you all hanging out with me. It's my main account, now a brand account, so I just swap this back to my main, the normal, and back to brand. Okay. Sure, that makes sense. I think I'm gonna actually get rid of the reactions. I feel like they're kind of annoying. I can't read some messages. Ash, thank you so much for the $3 dono. Let's get some hype in the chat for Ash. I hope you're doing well, my friend. I really appreciate you supporting the channel this way. Always, always so grateful for the donations. You are absolutely incredible. I truly, truly appreciate it. I hope you're having a good day. Gotta get back to work. Good luck. I'll be back later. All right, sounds good, Solo. I'm not sure how long the stream is going to go. I'm probably going to go until my wife gets home, essentially. So probably like 5 or 5:30, so 2 or 2.5 hours, maybe. But yeah, it should be a good time. But thank you so much for the donation again, Ash. I really, really appreciate it. And let's get freaking started on... oh, let me just make sure. No STDs. Cool. Still clean. So, I'm going to start with my explanation of my vacation, because it was a good time. We're good. I'm normally off work around 4. Oh, beautiful. Let's go. That's why you have to get up so early. You have to go to work at like 7 or 8 o'clock. Jeez. Gross. But yeah, so I did my trip from last Wednesday until yesterday. So it was like a Wednesday thing. Getting to do it in the middle of the week was actually really nice, because all of the traffic and stuff was not awful. And all of the hotels were bookable and all that stuff, because we did do some camping, but we also stayed in hotels for some of it. So for all of the hotels, they were like during the week, so it was much easier to book cheaper hotels and stuff like that, and flights as well. So it was a good plan. Although it did mean I had to take a week and a half of vacation rather than just like a week. But well, it's fine. I'm enjoying the extra half a week right now, so cannot complain. But basically Wednesday, went over to Logan Airport, which is right over here. This I did not take, and I flew out all the way over to Calgary because we were going to Montana. There was an airport in a town like an hour and a half away, but I couldn't get any like direct flights there, and it was going to be a real pain in the butt to like find hotels there and stuff like that because it was a smaller town. So we decided to fly into Calgary instead and then drive down to Montana, which was maybe like a 3-4 hour drive, but it wasn't awful. Plus, I got to drive in Canada, which was cool. I'd never driven outside the country before. So went to Logan Airport, flew out. This is actually a picture from one of my college buddies on their flight, but I did not get any pictures on the flight because I was in the aisle seat and I felt awkward taking pictures over someone sitting at the window seat. So this is actually a photo of their flight, but you know, it serves its purpose. But yeah, so went and flew over to Calgary. This is a stock photo. And then ended up at the airport. I got there a little early, so I went to a bar and got myself a Canadian beer and some wings. And actually, the wings were really, really good. I kind of wish I'd gotten more wings because they were very, very tasty. And the waitress was very nice. So I got to just kind of chill out after my flight. I found out, so on the airplane, they didn't have any screens on the back of the seats. So I thought that was going to be a thing. I was planning on playing on my Switch and Shiny Hunting and PLA anyway. But I did not realize that I was not going to have the option of like an in-flight movie or anything like that. So it was a good thing I brought something interesting because otherwise I would have just been sitting there like, what do I do now? I guess I'll go to sleep. But yeah, so it was a very, very like, I don't know. I hadn't flown in like 12 years, something like that. So my memory is very vague of the last time I flew, but it felt more cramped and less amenities, and it like first class was just behind a curtain. It wasn't like in a separate room. They were like just slightly bigger seats. Like it did not seem like anyone was like getting a good experience. And I was in the worst experience because I wasn't even allowed to carry on. I only got a personal item. So I couldn't bring like one of those carry-on things to put in the top shelf area. I had to just grab a backpack to put underneath the seat in front of me. And that was all I got. So I had one check bag with all of my like clothes and stuff like that. And I planned on getting a carry-on bag to put some like extra clothes in just so that I would be able to have clothes in case I lost my luggage, because I had that happen my last time I traveled. But because I was not allowed with my ticket a carry-on bag, because I got the cheapest one, I had to basically just throw like one set of clothes in my carry-on, or my personal item, and then just hope for the best. Luckily, the only thing that happened to my luggage was one of the wheels broke off in transit to the first place, which meant the entire trip I had to roll around luggage with 3 wheels and one just dangling off the edge, which was quite annoying. Anyway, flew into Calgary, waited for my buddies. I ended up going with 3 college friends. 2 of them we flew in that Wednesday. One of them had some work stuff to do, so they didn't get in until Saturday. But it was a good time with a couple of friends. So while I waited for them, I had my beer and my wings and stuff like that. It was a local Canadian beer, which was quite tasty. And then once they got there, we went and took a shuttle to the hotel, and it was like 11 o'clock that local time, 12 o'clock local time. So we were like, let's just go to bed. So we didn't really do anything that night other than the beer and the wings for me, and then we just kind of grabbed some supplies and headed to the hotel to go to sleep. Next morning, the hotel actually had a really, really good breakfast. They had like some scrambled eggs. They had like home breakfast potatoes, which I always loved. Growing up, I would go to like Perkins a lot. I don't know if anyone of you have ever been to Perkins, but I would always go to Perkins a lot with like my grandparents and stuff like that, and I always loved their breakfast potatoes. I would get a ham and cheese omelet with cheddar cheese. I would get breakfast potatoes, and then I'd get a blueberry muffin, not toasted, with butter. And that was my go-to meal at Perkins, and I always would have the breakfast potatoes with my ham and cheese omelet, like having some ham and cheese omelet, and then like a breakfast potato in one bite. And then once I ran out of omelet, I would just eat the breakfast potatoes, and they were always so good. So they had those at the hotel breakfast, which I was very happy about. They had some eggs, so I had that. They had a couple of sausage. I had a couple of sausage links as well. And then I got both some orange juice and some water, so I was nice and hydrated. That was a big thing early, was that I was really worried I was going to get extremely dehydrated because we were going to be going to like a lot of hiking. I'm not in the best shape. I was quite worried about my cardiovascular system holding up, and also being dehydrated, especially because I woke up with a dehydration headache from the plane, which was not a great way to start. But had some breakfast. We then went and rented our car. Apparently they had hail in Calgary a couple of nights or a couple of days before, so our rental car had a big crack in the windshield. There's actually another one that was over. Oh, you can't see my mouse on here. There was a pretty big crack, or there was this tiny little crack over to the left on the other side as well, and then the front what's it called, the hood had a bunch of dents in it from hail. So it was actually impressive how much damage the hail had done. But we got a nice pickup truck. It was barely big enough for all of our luggage and all of our stuff, but we managed to make it fit, although it was a tight squeeze most of the time. After that, we went over and bought some supplies at like Walmart and Cabela's, because we had forgotten some stuff. We didn't, we needed to get like food supplies. We needed to get like, I needed a towel. I needed a pillow, because I had forgotten to pack some of that stuff and also didn't have a lot of space in my luggage. So I bought some of that stuff. We bought some bear spray, because Glacier National Park is bear country, and spoiler alert, we did see some bears, although none of them got close enough that we had to use the bear spray, so that was good. But we bought a bunch of supplies. One of my college buddies ended up finding a geocache out in Canada, which was kind of cool. I helped out. He hopped a fence and then realized it was attached to the fence on the other side, so he didn't need to hop the fence, but it was fun. And then we went into Calgary proper and did a little bit of sightseeing. We went to the Calgary Tower, which is basically like the Space Needle of Calgary. Apparently they have a bunch of these like all around the world. I did not realize that it was such a common... I mean, I guess it makes sense. It's a very good tourist thing to do. Like, it's just a big tower that you get to, that has windows on all sides, and you can just take pictures in all directions in a city with like a lot of interesting sights. Yeah, of course it's going to be a popular architectural structure, I suppose. But let me just make sure that there's no... Oh, there is one. We will pause here and go on over to our first STD. Let's go. We got our first shiny hunting situation going on. Let's go. But yeah, got to do some sightseeing in Calgary, which was a lot of fun. And I found out that apparently the Calgary Tower was actually used as the Olympic torch when the Olympics were held in Calgary, like back in the 90s. Or 80s? I don't know. It was back in the 1900s at some point. So it said it was the world's tallest Olympic torch, which is actually pretty cool. So I thought that was really cool. Alright, while we wait for this to spawn, I will go back to the photos and continue rambling. So yeah, went up to this Calgary Tower. Whoops. There we go. I took some pictures from the top. The Performing Arts building apparently had like an advertisement on the roof for the specifically for people in the Calgary Tower, which I thought was really funny, and also really smart. So I took a picture of that. But this is the like local. I think this is I think it was called the Stampede or something like that. I think this is where the Calgary Flames national hockey team plays. So that was pretty cool. And then, of course, just like the city skyline looked really, really cool. Like I said, it was the world's tallest Olympic torch. It was the 1988 Olympics, so the 80s, not the 90s. My apologies. And then, yes, we got to see some really cool stuff. This was actually through the floor. They had some glass floor that you could look through and stand on and look down at the street below, and it was really kind of freaky, but also really cool. And then after that, we went to just kind of walk around a little bit. There was while we were looking for parking, we had seen a museum that had some fun stuff. This was actually just a statue that was like 10 feet tall outside of just a random restaurant. There's a horse made out of metal. It was like a cyberpunk horse. It was really, really cool. It actually had a geocache in it that my friend tried to find but could not. And he ended up basically filling up this horse for like 10-15 minutes and could not find it. So it was quite funny, but also we did not get the satisfaction of finding the geocache, unfortunately. But yeah, this is the horse looking straight at me. It was quite tall. This was like my view of it as I was standing next to it. It's really, really cool. And then this was the museum that we saw. I saw this face and was like, ooh, I want a picture of that. But we drove by too fast, so we went and walked over there. Got a picture of that. And then we went to go find a restaurant. We were going to go to a place that had been recommended online, but as we were going there, we saw a bike rental shop, which back at that point we were thinking, obviously we would have to go back into Calgary to fly out the next week. So we were thinking of renting some bikes and like biking around the city that day. So we saw a bike rental and went inside to see like what they had and what their options were. And we went in there and ended up talking to the guy, and he ended up recommending a different restaurant that we had originally planned on going to. And it ended up being really, really good. So we ended up walking over there. I saw this and it was really cool. It was like a tunnel underneath a building. I always enjoy those. And then on the way there, I also saw a sign that said Lola, and I was like, oh, I miss my dog. Speaking of, she's right over here. Hello, Lola. Hello, Lola. But yeah, saw Lola place. And then we got to the restaurant, which was basically a market that had a bunch of these like, oh, hold on. We got our STD started. Oh. Let me grab these items, look for... No, grab that item. Oh no, grab them later. This music. Oh, this is from the... I forgot, I'm listening to a Pokemon orchestral music. I was like, I don't remember the music being in this game. I don't only need to catch the Porygon. So we're good there. I guess the special spawns specifically. Where the heck are the special spawns? Jesus Christ, this really feels... Where the heck are the special spawns? Are you a special spawn? Oh, you must be. What is this one? I forget what this one's called. Middle between the Cyndaquil and Typhlosion. No shinies here. I will, however, catch the very on that. Where are you, Porygon? Give me Porygon. Doesn't even need to be shiny at this point. I just want to find a Porygon. There you are. Damn. A lot of VV spawn in here, which is good. And I need a bunch of those as well. Ow. That was a little rude, Luxray. Where are you? Oh, another Porygon. Go in there. Oh. I'm thinking we're probably not going to get a shiny Porygon this run, because I'm pretty sure we just got all of our special spawns already. But who knows, maybe we'll get like a shiny Eevee or something. That'd be dope too. I need like 7 more of those. Ah, no, 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 no. That was a bad time to get electrocuted. That. Did not like that one bit. Oh god. Tony, welcome to the stream. Sick hat, by the way, thank you. I got it on my trip. It is my trucker hat. Also, I'm clean shaven again. No more beard. We are getting a lot of spawns, so that's good. Jump, please, jump, please. Thank you. And it's gone. Alright, no luck on the first STD, but we shall see. Where did you go? Went to Glacier National Park in Montana. Let me save real quick. And we'll wait for the next one. Don't take it the wrong way, but you have quite the baby face. It's awesome. Well, thank you. I actually, here, let me pull it up real quick, because last night in the Baldur's Gate stream, Lumion ended up making me, making a version of me with a beard, a full beard, because I had like the beginnings of a beard from my trip, because I didn't shave. But it was creepy. It was a creepy photo. It made me look like Bert Kreischer from, Bert Kreischer, he's a comedian. But yeah. It's creepy. Oh, God. But yeah. Thank you so much for joining in, Toonie. I am doing a joint stream where I'm shiny hunting, but while we wait for STDs, I'm doing some like photos from my trip and just kind of explain what we did. You look like every guy I've met at a hobby store ever. Fair. You were in Michigan last week. Nice. I've never been to Michigan. I always wanted to go. Big fan of the University of Michigan. So... But yeah, so this was basically, to summarize, I was there for a show. Oh, what show? But to summarize, I basically flew into Calgary, then and we're now in Calgary kind of doing some sightseeing before we drive down to Montana. This was at the restaurant. They had like 9 different like restaurants or something like that, all in like one location, and they all had like the similar like branding almost, with like just like it was like very generic, and then there was like communal seating, and you could just like order whatever you wanted. They gave you buzzers, and then you just go pick up your food and eat it there. It was awesome. They had a lot of good food. I almost got the pizza because it was called Actually Pretty Good Pizza, and that made me laugh almost enough to actually buy the pizza. But I ended up going with the Italian food and got some spaghetti bolognese and garlic knots, and they were delicious. And then both of my friends got fried chicken, Korean fried chicken. One of them got spicy barbecue, and the other one got like this Parmesan truffle one, and they were both amazing as well. So it was really, really good. Remember that band I mentioned? Some members did something for the show called Sonic Lunch. Lawrence actually went there one year. Oh, really? That's awesome. I never heard of that. It was a great time. They mostly played unreleased music. Oh, that's dope. That's dope. But yeah, that's awesome. I'm super excited for you. That sounds like an awesome time. We didn't end up getting to see any live music on this trip, but we did go and do some fun sightseeing and stuff like that. So after we ate some food, we kind of had to race back to our car to go start driving because we wanted to try and pick up our tent before the shipping place closed. Because rather than check the tent as luggage and like fly with it, my friend ended up just having it shipped there through like UPS. And the place that closed at like 8, we were like finishing up food at like 4, and we decided to just like try and book it down in time to get there. So we started driving south to Montana through Alberta. It was absolutely gorgeous. It was just like all like plains, wheat fields, and stuff like that. We ended up getting to see some like bison and buffalo, which I will show you in a minute. But it was really, really pretty. Unfortunately, what happened was we got to we were trying to go a little farther east, so we ended up, there was like a border crossing, just going straight down the road we were going to go down. I was thinking about doing that and then just cutting across in the US to go west, but it was quicker, according to the GPS, to cut across in Canada instead, about a half an hour east. So I went that way, went east half an hour, got to the border crossing. The Canadian side of the border was completely open. The US border had closed 2 hours ago. Google apparently did not know that the US border at that location was closed at that time. So we had to drive half an hour back. We were definitely not going to make it to pick up the tent that evening, so we had to go the next morning instead. I was very frustrated that Google had not warned me, but alas, we ended up getting to the U.S. border again about an hour later, or half an hour later. Google Maps is very unreliable, especially when you don't have internet because you're in another country. It was very frustrating, but you know, happens. So we eventually got through the border. The border guy was like really, really like curt and kind of didn't seem like he was happy to be there, which was a little disappointing. But we got back into the U.S. And then by that point it was almost sunset, so we got to see some more rolling plains and stuff like that, and the mountains off in the distance, and it was gorgeous. It was just really, really pretty. And then we ended up going to a hotel. Where the heck were the freaking? Where the heck were the? I don't know. I have photos of bison later that we took. I don't know if I want to be there late at night. Yeah. It was pretty remote, so I understand, but it's, at the same time, it's like, you know, this is your entire job to be somewhat friendly, I think. But yeah, so we got through, saw the sunset. It was really, really gorgeous. We eventually got to our hotel, which was actually attached to a casino. So we went down to the casino. I had set aside some money because I knew that I would probably lose it. I was going to avoid the slots completely because I know that they're like the worst ones in terms of just throwing your money down the drain. But when we got there, it was all slots. It was just like a bunch of different types of slot machines, but they were all slots. There was one table where you could play poker against other people, but it was just the three of us playing, so we ended up playing against each other, and I broke even. One of my friends won some money, the other friend lost all his money. It was like $20, so it wasn't much. And then the house took like $3 from each of us, so we ended up just, you know, about the same. And then I was like, all right, if I have to do the slots, I might as well play a little bit. And then I lost over half my money that I set aside in like 5 minutes, and I was like, this isn't fun. So I managed to win a little bit to get like back up to a decent enough loss where I wasn't extremely upset. And then I just kind of cashed out and was like, oh, that was kind of lame. So unfortunately, there were like I would have loved to play like blackjack. Even if I had lost money, that would have been more fun. Slots, it's just press a button and hope that the computer gives you money. There's no like even pretending that it's luck or skill, or it's like any skill. You have like no input. You're pressing a button and then hoping the screen says something good. Obviously, most gambling is like that. Like, even if you were to do roulette, it's not like you're like spinning the ball yourself. Playing craps, it's all down to dice, which are random and stuff like that. But at the very least, it feels like you have a little bit more input on it, so it feels less like a crapshoot. RNG is unreliable, especially in casino. Yeah, for sure. They're literally programmed so that you lose money. So in overall, I was just like, I didn't want to play slots, and then I lost a bunch of money in slots anyway. It was like $60. It wasn't much, but it was enough where I was kind of disappointed with the experience. So we didn't go back to the casino, but we ended up going back to bed, to our bedroom in the hotel. We played some cards until like 1 a.m. It was a lot of fun. That's the illusion of choice. Exactly. I would have at least liked the illusion of choice, even if the outcome was the same. I would have had more fun with the illusion of choice. But yeah, so we played some cards. We played some Palace. We played Egyptian Rat Screw, and then we played some Mao. It was great. We used to do that all the time in college, so it was a good throwback. And then the next morning, I went out to the car early in the morning because I was really, really thirsty and needed some water. And there were 2 stray dogs playing outside, and they both ran right up to me as soon as I got out the door, and were like looking for pets and stuff like that. They were really, really nice and cute. The one on the right with the like lighter fur was literally just like laying in the doorway. And as soon as I went to go outside, stood up and like ran right up to me and like licked my hand and stuff like that. It was adorable. These dogs were so sweet. And I went out, grabbed some water, came back to the hotel, went inside. This hotel apparently didn't give us towels, which was a problem because I wanted to shower after a long day. And I ended up having to go down to the fitness center and take some hand towels, which was not ideal. But we showered up, and then went over to pick up the tent, got some more food and supplies and stuff like that. And then we headed into the park. We did see some more bison on the way. This is where some of the bison photos came in. They don't seem like strays. They definitely had some ribs showing. So I think that they were just strays that kind of hung out outside of the hotel because they fed them fairly regularly. But yeah, I'm pretty sure they were strays. I don't think they had collars on or anything like that. So, but yeah, got to see some bison, which was really, really cool. There were a lot of cows and horses as well. It was a great time. And then we started driving into Glacier National Park, which is one of the most gorgeous places on Earth, I'm convinced. I read in a book that bison are extremely dangerous to approach. Interesting. We did not approach them, so no issue there, but I could believe it. They're very big animals. I'm sure that they stampede if you scare them enough. But yeah, it's gorgeous. This is half of the thumbnail, actually. This was as we were driving in to the park, and all of these photos are like it. It's just so pretty. But yeah, we got to Glacier National Park around noon. We had planned on this day doing a couple of smaller hikes, and then the next day, this was Friday at this point, we drove in. We were going to do a couple of hikes. We were going to set up camp overnight, and then Saturday morning go pick up our other friend who was flying in to the town that was only an hour and a half away. Not all of that came to fruition, but we that was the plan at least going into it. Was the stream just an excuse to gush about your road trip? Pretty much, yeah. um, I figured people would want to see the photos and stuff. And I figured I need to do the shiny hunting anyway. Might as well do it while I show off pictures. But yeah, we drove in. The Glacier National Park has a road that you can drive on that has little, just like turn-offs every once in a while where you can just take photos of like beautiful vistas. So that's what we kind of did as we drove in. Found out something weird. What's up, Solo? But yeah, took some pictures. This is what's called St. Mary's Lake. We drove along the Sun Road, it was called. And then we got to the first place, where we were going to do our first hike called the Hidden Lake Hike. Count as a member, but isn't subbed. Huh. Weird. Me. Dude, that's funny. But yeah, we got to our first hike, the Hidden Lake Hike. While we were getting set up, I saw a monarch butterfly, and I had to take a picture. It was really, really pretty. I think it was the first ever monarch butterfly I'd seen in real life. Obviously, I'd seen a bunch of pictures. They're very, famous, but I don't think I'd ever seen one in real life. And if I had, it was like in like a butterfly park. This was the first one out in the wild. It was quite pretty. We then went to basically the start of the trail. We made some sandwiches out of some lunch meats we got in our supply run earlier that day. We had some sandwiches at the front of the trail. We ended up seeing a marmot just chilling a couple feet away from us. So I took some pictures. It was really, really cute. It's almost like a mix between like a meerkat and a squirrel and a chipmunk. Really, really cute. I think that they're called marmots. I heard someone call it a marmot, and I've been sticking with it. I wish I could take a close-up of a monarch. I need it for my Seek. And a marmot for your Seek. What is a Seek? All this account's subs are gone? Oh, that sucks, Solo. I'm sorry. Fingers crossed when I switch things back to my normal account, doesn't unsub. Probably almost 500 channels. Oh, hope not. Marmots are in the same family as meerkats and chipmunks. There you go. It looks like a mix between the two. Let me just make sure that there's no STDs. Oh, good. But yeah, got to see a marmot. And then we started off the hike. It started off really, really nice. Saw some more of the marmot. And then immediately after that, we started going upstairs. And I am not in the best shape of my life. Stairs are my enemy, I found out. This was awful. As you can see, I'm already kind of dying over there in the corner. It was just a good like mile of just going upstairs. It was gorgeous, but I was struggle bussing. Seek is an app, basically a Pokedex. You take a picture of an animal, it identifies it and gives you some info about it. That's so cool. That's so cool. Love that. Resub to see if that helps. We'll see. Be sure to hydrate. Yes. I had water. I had to buy a water bottle because I didn't bring one on the trip because I was worried about getting it through airport. But I got one that actually had a straw inside of it, which I found out was really good for when you're driving because you don't have to like tip it back, and you can keep your eyes on the road while you're drinking. So I'm going to use that on future road trips. It's a nice water bottle. But yeah, started hiking up. I was exhausted and like, how am I going to do the rest of these hikes? I'm dying already, and I'm like less than a mile in. But we started hiking up. Got to see some like steps off in the distance. This was the trail up. It was probably like I think it was like 900 feet of incline over the entire like 4-5 mile hike. Gotta go again. My phone's about to die, and I'm not gonna be home for another almost hour to charge it. All right, Solo. Safe travels back home, and I'll hopefully talk to you soon. Has a gotta catch them all vibe where it encourages you to identify more and more animals for what animals are nearby. That's so dope. I might have to try that out because we saw a lot of animals on this hike or these hikes. It was great. But yeah, it was a lot of climbing in a shorter period of time, and my body was not ready. Got to take some pictures at some certain points. I just started taking pictures of cool rocks, partially because my wife really likes rocks, partially because I just needed the excuse to stop and take a breather, so I would take some pictures. And then my phone died. before I got to the top, my phone died because the battery's terrible. So some of these pictures are from some of my friends' photos and cameras instead of mine. Um, Reggie reference, love it. But yeah, we got to the peak, and just off over the horizon is the hidden lake, which was beautiful. The water was so blue. It literally, like, I this was the experience the entire time I was here. It felt like I was in it, like they had like a green screen set up, or that I was just sitting there, like, and it was not real. Like it was hard to believe that I was seeing something that actually exists in real life. It was that much like a photo or like a painting or something like that. It was just like the colors, the scope of it. It was just insane. It looks like Jello. Yeah, it's crazy. It was crazy how pretty it was there. Should have brought a power bank. I did. I did not bring it on that hike specifically, unfortunately. I did learn my lesson moving forward. So after this hike, all of the hikes that I went on, I brought that power bank and had no issues. But for this first one, I did not have it, so phone died real quickly. But yeah, it was just like so pretty. This was like at the top. Afterwards, there was a second half of the hike, which was the first hike was like 1.5 miles to get up to here. Then it was another 1.5 miles down to the shore of the lake, and then you'd have to travel the whole 3 miles back. Can I gush about my trip after this? Sure, why not? But yeah, so you'd have to do another 3 miles back, so it was 6 miles total. I kept on going for a while, but at a certain point, it got too steep, and I have really bad knees, and I was starting to feel like my knees getting really sore, and I did not want to destroy them for the rest of the trip. So I decided to cut my losses and not go down to the lake, and cut about maybe a little less than a quarter of the hike off, just so that I wouldn't have to go down the really steep part and then go back up this really steep part. And it was a good thing I did, because it started to thunder. Like, yeah, see, like, you go over here and then you just go straight down, and it's just like back and forth, down really steep, and then up really steep. And I just was not, my knees were not having it. So I got to about here, and then I hiked it back up. But it started to thunder and lightning as I was like hiking back up. So I kind of just booked it back, and then luckily my friends who did go all the way down to the thing. Dazzling, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. What the heck is going on here? Okay, we're good. It's just really dark in the game. But yeah, they went all the way down to the lake, and then actually they went swimming for a minute and then hopped back, and I managed to beat them back by a little bit, which is saying something about how much faster they were going. I wanted to go hiking in Michigan, but I didn't have anyone to go with. Understandable. It is kind of nerve-wracking hiking by yourself. I would recommend going with other people just for safety reasons. Hopefully you find someone that you can hike with. But yeah, it was gorgeous. I hiked back as it was starting to thunder. On my way back, we saw some mountain goats off to the side. It's been a while, Electric. Having fun? Yeah. Got back from my vacation yesterday, and I'm going through the pictures of it now. Went to Glacier National Park. And this is the first hike that I was doing, called the Hidden Lake Hike. Had a bunch of, there were some mountain goats off to the side. My phone was dead, and I was really pissed I didn't get pictures, but luckily my friends got pictures of the mountain goats just kind of chilling off to the side, hanging out. Then, yeah, these were the storm clouds. Started rolling in just as I was finishing up the hike. Ended up getting down in time before it started raining, but then the second hike we meant to go on was supposed to be a 3-mile hike to some waterfalls, but it started thundering, lightning, and the wind started picking up, and we got a severe thunderstorm warning. So we decided not to go on that hike because it seemed like it would be possibly dangerous. And we also decided that setting up the tent in 80-mile-an-hour wind was not a good idea. So we ended up getting a hotel in, or like a motel in the park at one of the like visitor centers, and stopped for dinner there. I got a decent pulled pork sandwich at the restaurant there. Got this hat, as well as some long some socks with like a glacier vista on it, and it was just a good time. So we stopped for the night, and it was not the best hotel or anything like that, but it worked well, and we didn't have to set up the tent until the next morning. So we didn't end up camping that Friday night, but we stayed in a hotel instead. Next morning, it was nice and sunny again. We headed out early because we needed to go pick up. We had to go set up the tent because there was not enough space for all four of us, plus all of our luggage, plus the tent and all of the camping supplies. The car just wasn't big enough, so we stopped. We drove over to our campsite, and we were going to set up the tent, and then we were going to drive on all the way to go pick up our friend from the airport. That was about an hour away. So really, really pretty that morning. Barely a cloud in the sky. We got to go down more of the Sun Road, which had more of those turnoffs, and got to take more pictures. I think this was still St. Mary's Lake. It was just so pretty. Got to see like the sunrise essentially over the mountains. It was quite windy, and at one point both my hat and my friend's hat blew off our heads. Mine landed just like right next to me. His blew off the side, and it landed a little ways down, and he ended up getting out his hiking poles and climbing down to grab it, which I was quite nervous about, but he ended up making it just fine. It was an interesting morning. It was gorgeous, but it was also quite windy, so we were trying to make sure we were staying safe. The road was very windy, so we decided we didn't really want to drive on in the dark if we could avoid it. It sounds risky. Yes, it was. I was thoroughly against the idea, but he decided to do it anyway, and no harm, no foul, I guess. But yeah, just kept stopping and taking pictures. It was taking a while because we just kept seeing really, really pretty areas we wanted to take pictures of. I mean, it was just gorgeous. The clouds rolling off the mountains, the shadows, and then the sun. It's just so pretty. But yeah, we finally got to the campsite. We set up our tent. It was a 10-person tent, and it was enormous. We also had a little picnic bench and a fire pit. And we got all of our stuff set up. We put all of our like sleeping bags and stuff in there, so that we had enough space to add a fourth person in their luggage. And then we continued. Oh, I forgot. I added a jump scare of Lola while we were that morning while we were stopped for at the in town. My wife sent a picture of Lola, and she was frenzied. So this is her after having destroyed a toy. But yeah, we went camping. It was great. Got to test out a 10-person tent for the first time. I hadn't been camping probably since I was 9. So, you know, it was an interesting experience. We then finally got into town, drove about an hour away, picked up our fourth friend, and then we stopped at Chick-fil-A, got some lunch, and then went over to Cabela's again to pick up some more bear spray. I picked up a poncho in case it rained because I realized I didn't bring a raincoat. Oh, and we got walkie-talkies because I found that I was going to be lagging behind, and it was probably prudent to have a way to communicate between us when we were not within earshot of each other. So we got some walkie-talkies, and they ended up working out really well. We also gave each other call signs, except for me. I gave myself the call sign Caboose because I was going to be in the back most of the time. We had Curious George because one of them had a yellow coat that made him look like the man in the yellow hat. One of them was named Naughty Boy because we knew that it would bother him to be called Naughty Boy, and the other one was called Smithereens, reference to Simpsons. But yeah, we all had call signs. We used the walkie-talkies. We got that at Cabela's, and then we went over. After that, we went and found a frisbee golfing place in like a town over, and it was really really pretty. So we went and played frisbee golf. My friends and I, we would always play in college. I hadn't played I played once when they visited back at the beginning of summer, but other than that, I hadn't played in years. I love frisbee golf. I forgot to bring my regular frisbee, so we bought a set. I think in the Cabela's as well. They had one set, but bought a set of frisbees. The driver that I got wasn't very good. It was like really really weak, so I ended up borrowing another guy's. But yeah, we played some frisbee golf. Saw a woodpecker, which I don't know if you can really see it in this photo, but it's somewhere around, like right in the center. There was a woodpecker pecking at the tree here. At the time I thought I got a better picture of it, but alas, don't think I did. I think that might be it right there, or yeah, it might be like right around here where it's zooming in. I play disc golf too. Oh, nice, Carlos. I love disc golf. It's so good. Have you ever been to the one in Devon? That's the one I went to most recently in Massachusetts. It's a hike in and of itself, but it's awesome. It's an awesome course. But yeah, we started disc golfing. It was really really picturesque. Here's another picture of the woodpecker. There it is. It's right over there next to right over here. Oh, you can't see the freaking. Oh, God damn it! Oh. I need like a pointer. Let's see. Can I do a pointer? Nah. It's right next to this these like yellow leaves over here, right in the center. Seek also identifies plants. Oh, cool. But yeah, we found a woodpecker, and we started frisbee golfing. It was a slog to get through the first ones because this course was not like extremely well maintained. So we ended up. No, never mind. I thought I saw an STD. It wasn't super well maintained, so there was a lot of like brush and stuff like that. We lost our frisbees so much. It took us, I think, an hour to get through like the first 4 holes. We were going so slowly. It was so slow. But it was also gorgeous. I mean, we had a lakeside view. Got to throw right through some really pretty woods. At one point we saw a bone, which was kind of interesting. I have played Daisy, Louisa Lake, and King Philip a lot, and also Maple Hill. Are those all in like northern Massachusetts? Because I definitely want to try out some more places. I think I might just go by myself because those friends who do not live close to here are the only ones that I really have to play with. So I would, and my wife is not a fan, so it was I would probably be going by myself. But it looks I've been looking for more courses to try out in the area, so I'll have to look those up. That's all right. It looks beautiful. Yeah, it was gorgeous. It was worth it. But it was also really slow going, to the point where we ended up having a system where one person would throw and then they'd go find theirs and then just stand out there and spot the rest of the people, and we just kind of like spotted each other so that it would be easier to find moving forward. Can't believe she's not a fan. She doesn't. She like sprained both of her wrists growing up doing like acrobatics, and so she doesn't have. She sometimes has trouble like doing those types of activities for long periods of time, and especially with frisbee golf where it takes a while. It gets to the point where she just like she's no longer able to like have the wrist stamina to be able to keep doing it, and it gets really annoying just like having to fish your frisbee out after a while. So I get it. It's the same with bowling. She can only play like a game or two at most before her wrist starts bothering her. So you know, she'll still go sometimes, but she's not a huge fan. That's her villain origin story. Yes, exactly. But yeah, it was so pretty. Um, there I am, trudging through trying to find my frisbee. Um, um, but it's just so pretty there. Getting to play some holes. We kept playing through. It was like we got to. I'll just search some more pictures before I explain this, but we were playing through very, very slowly, having a lot of fun. One of my friends took this photo of me, which I said was going to be the promo that they use if and when I join the disc golf leagues. They'll use it all in all of the promotional material. It's just me looking off into the distance with a frisbee in my hand. And the lakeside views were just gorgeous. It was just so much fun. What happened though was we got to hole 14, which was you threw it down, and if you missed, it went like basically down a large hill down towards like the parking lot. Luckily, I did pretty well on that one and got like a 5 or something like that. But there were some people who threw it over and ended up getting like a 9. So it was rough. But then after that, we couldn't find the next hole. We saw hole 1, but we couldn't find hole 15. So we ended up like going back to the car and looking at the sign to see if there was a map. The map had been taken off of the sign for some reason. We looked it up, and apparently, first of all, it was a 27-hole course, not a 18-hole course. Second of all, it was basically 2 loops of a 14 loop and then a 13 loop, where hole 15 was basically past hole 1, and you would do a whole nother loop. So we just realized that we were 3 hours in, we were halfway done. So we decided to call it at 14 holes. Unfortunately, if we had had more time, I would have loved to play the rest of the course, but it was going to be like dark by the time we finished, and we had an hour drive back to the campsite, and then we had to, like set up our sleeping bags and all that stuff. So we decided to avoid driving on that windy road when it was extremely dark. And decided to cut our losses and played 14 holes instead of 18 or 27. But it was great. It was a lot of fun. I didn't do amazingly, but that was also because I was playing with a really crappy disc for like the first 4 or 5 holes, and then I switched over to one that I was unfamiliar with for the remaining 10. So I'm blaming that. But as we were leaving, one of my friends saw that there was a dirt road leading up and into the park more, and he knew that we had gotten a car that had like a sport mode, like an off-roading mode, and he really wanted to try it out. So we ended up going up that road about 3/4 of a mile and drove to like a lake lookout, which he was like, oh, we're gonna have a beautiful view of a lake that we can take pictures of. This was the lake. It's pretty. It's not the most pretty thing I saw on that trip though. And it was not worth the multiple puddles and bumps we went through to get there, I don't think. Especially when we realized that as we were driving back 5 feet away, there was hole number 7, which we had passed while playing. So we had been there already. But he got to use the sport mode, so that was all that really mattered. But if you know where Gillette Stadium is, I live close to that. And the courses I play are surrounding towns like Franklin, Plainfield, Milford. Oh, okay. Down by like the Sharon area. Cool. All right, yeah. I'll have to try out some of those courses. But yeah, so seems underwhelming, to be honest. Yeah, it was a little underwhelming. And I said it at the time. I feel like any other trip, it probably would have been a nice, pretty area to like take some pictures of. But compared to all of the stuff I had already seen and was going to see, it was not worth the excursion. But we ended up driving back into town to go try and get some dinner. We originally went to a restaurant that ended up being on a golf course. And Google was saying, oh, it might be closed today, and we're like, it's 6 o'clock on a Saturday, 6 p.m. On a Saturday. What restaurant would be closed at that time? So we went to the restaurant, drove in to town, which was quite pretty, actually. It was really, really pretty town. Very, very quaint. And we drove in, we got to the golf course, and they're like, one of the waiters was like walking out of the building as we were like getting out of the car, and was like, hey, so actually we had our members only day today. So like members got to play on the course, and actually we're closed today. You picked the one day of the year that we're actually closed, unfortunately. So if you want to come back like tomorrow, I'd be happy to serve you, but unfortunately I want to save you the trip. We're closed today. And I was like, okay, so first of all, we got there the one day of the year that they're closed and not open for business on a Saturday evening. Second of all, Google knew that they had their member day that year, but they didn't know that the border wasn't open after 5 p.m. I was very, very frustrated with Google's very picky ability to know when things are closed versus open. But yeah, so it was tough luck. But we had passed a place on the way to that restaurant that looked kind of nice. It had some nice outdoor seating, and we ended up going there. And sitting outside, I had a really, really good burger. It was probably the best burger I had that entire trip. And they had some pasta salad, which was delicious. It was so good. I actually took a picture of this because I loved the pasta shape that they used so much that I want to try and find it. I looked it up. I think it's probably called radiatori, but I'm not 100% certain. It was so good, though. It held the sauce really well. It was really dense. And, I just really, really loved it. It was so tasty. But we had some really good food, and it was nice out. It was a brewery technically, so a couple people got some beers. I was trying not to drink while I still had hikes going on. That doesn't look particularly appetizing. Really? I thought it was very tasty, so agree to disagree, I suppose. But yeah, it was I didn't end up partaking in alcohol because I knew we were going to be doing a really long hike the next day, and I did not want to be dehydrated for it. But someone got some beer, and they said it was pretty good. I ended up getting what they called zesty ginger ale, which was interesting. It's apparently made by the same people who make kombucha. It didn't have any alcohol in it, but it was like it was a ginger ale that almost tasted like seltzer water ginger ale. Like it would like tasted like ginger seltzer water almost. It was not as sweet. It did have a little bit of like a zing to it. It was okay. It was not my favorite. I just ended up drinking the water for the most part because I was very thirsty from our frisbee golfing. Pasta looks like little brains. Yes, it does kind of look like brains. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. But yeah, had some pasta salad, had some burger, had some water and zesty ginger ale. That was interesting. Really, kombucha is a brand. I think it's just a type of tea. Well, the people who like invented kombucha, I think, also invented this or something like that. I don't know. That's what they said at the brewery anyway. No, not sure exactly what it was, but it was Anyway, we finished up our dinner. Didn't end up getting to play cornhole that they had set up, but that's okay. They had a gong that they hit when it was last call, which was fun. And then we started driving back to the park as it was sunset. So got to see the west side of the mountains as the sun was setting on them. And again, picturesque. Driving on those roads as the sun was going down. It was just really, really, really pretty. We stopped off the side of the road at one point to take some more pictures. Got to see some waterfalls. Just absolutely gorgeous. And that brought us to the next morning, which I think is around here. We ended up deciding for our big hike, it was going to be like a 10-mile hike-ish. It was actually like almost 2 hours away from our campsite because you had to go out of the park, cut north, and then go back into the park because the trailhead was on the other side of a mountain. So essentially, what ended up having to happen was we went outside. We got up an early start. Hopped in the car after camping that night. I didn't sleep all that well because I didn't have any like mattress pad to put underneath me, so I was just on the hard ground, and we were right underneath a tree, so I think I had a root sticking into my back. I also sleep on my stomach, which is not great for really hard surfaces, so I didn't sleep amazing, but hey, you know, what are you gonna do? I had an apple, and we had some like rehydrated meals. It was like these little packs that had like dehydrated meals, and you put some boiling water in there and then just mix it up and let it sit for a few minutes, and it becomes a hydrated meal. They were surprisingly decent. I had like egg, hash brown, and sausage skillet for breakfast, and I had a little bit of that and an apple, and it was good to go. We ended up driving out of the park, seeing some of these beautiful sights as it was, you know, mid-morning. Getting to see more of the park. Sun ended up coming out. This area actually had wildfires, I think, a couple of years ago. So a lot of these trees were actually burned and dead, unfortunately. But you did end up getting to see more of the lake, so that was actually an interesting side effect. But got some really nice pictures. We ended up stopping at the same place we had the motel the other night. To get some more supplies. I needed to get an extra sweatshirt because I was planning on using the one sweatshirt I brought on the hike because it was cold, and I wanted another one for like lounging and sleeping in, so I bought another sweatshirt. I also brought a pad, like an inflatable pad to put underneath my sleeping bag, and then oh, we got another one. Let me go over there real quick. We'll go over to the SCD, and then I will continue the rant in a second. That one took a while. All right. Hang out over here while we wait. And then we'll go back to the pictures. So we stopped for more supplies. I also got some internet and was able to text my wife and say hello and give her the plans. You can gush about it, Michigan, once the STD officially starts. Sure, Toonie. But yeah, we ended up driving out of the park for a little bit, drove back into it. This is on the drive back in. It was farther north, so it was a little bit less vegetation. It was a little more rocky. Got to see some more lakes, though. And then we ended up getting to the Grinnell Glacier Trail, which basically was a hike up to... Oh, it's starting. Let me start it now, then. All right, let's do this. Go ahead and talk about Michigan all you want, Toonie. I will read it once I finish up the STD. I'm really looking for a shiny here. I would love to get a shiny. I haven't gotten a shiny in the nest. Oh, god damn it. All these special spawns are syndical lines. I don't need those. I can get those in MMOs easily. Really? And you're not gonna get caught. I mean, I guess I'll take a shiny Eevee if I can get one as well, because I do need a bunch of those, but it is quite unfortunate that we're not getting any Porygon. And great. Complete waste of an SCA. Frickin' Cyndaquil line taking up my special spawns. That was 3 special spawns, so we're not gonna get an Porygon this run, I don't think. That's frustrating. I might as well just grab the rest of the items while I'm here. That's frustrating. Oops. golly. Keep grabbing the freaking walls. This area is terrible for nesting respawn. It's just so, like, hilly. There's so many areas where it's just, you have to climb. You can't even jump over.
Boy, leave me alone. Leave me alone.
Hey, look, a flare. Come on. We don't get many EV spawns, unfortunately. I really wish we would. That'd be the silver lining I'm looking for here, or I guess white in this case. Because the shine is white. Yeah. Anyway,
Climb like your life depended on it.
come on, get there. Stardust, let's go. Oh yeah, I guess the floatsman would also work. I still need one of those. And it's gone. Alright. Well, 2 down. What's that picture on your hat? It is of Glacier National Park, Joe. Welcome to the stream. Alright. Well, that didn't work. Let me read through Tooney's stuff for a minute, and then we'll get back to the trip. So it was a town called Ann Arbor, which is where the band originated. That's where the University of Michigan is. I know Ann Arbor, or know of it at least. Got to meet a bunch of other fans. Word of mouth says someone flew from another country. Dang. Got a chat with the band afterwards. Andrew the Penis found out how long it took me to drive there, so he gave me a free vinyl sleeve. That's dope. Hung out in this place called Marvin's Marvelous Mechanical Museum. It's the namesake of the band's first album. Half an hour away is an Arceus, or an arcade. Oh, okay, cool. Dave and Buster style, except the machines are very quirky. Like one then electrocutes you, and one machine has you playing tic-tac-toe with a chicken animatronic. That's hilarious. There was an ATM since it was a penny arcade. Lady gave me a free pizza when she found out how long I drove. Dang, nice. That's awesome. I missed the beard. Sorry. Here, hold on. One sec. There. Better? Here, we'll do this. Oh, no, hold on. All right, and there we go. Better? Perfect. Okay, so anyway. Some kids were coming back from studying abroad. Dang, nice. Bearded Ectric, yes. But yeah, that sounds awesome, Toonie. Sounds like a fun time. I would love to go to Ann Arbor someday. Anyway, let me actually take this picture off because it's blocking my other pictures. And I'll turn the camera back on. But yeah, so last we left off, this was the big hike. Basically 5 and change miles to the glacier, hiking up past 3 different lakes all the way to the glacier, across from the glacier, where there was a lake like basically from the melted glacier. Back to your trip. Yes, I was attempting to mod BG3 again, failing miserably. Sorry, Chef. I've never tried. If I ever figure it out, I'll let you know how to do it, because I want to do it also, as well. But yeah, so the for this day, this was Sunday basically. Just we're gonna do a long hike. Got there around noonish, like 12:30, and they were saying that you could see like moose, you could see bears, mountain goats, rams, marmots and stuff like that. There's a bunch of different things you could possibly see. So it was an interesting thing. We actually met someone right as we were starting who said that they we were worried because one of us had like some beef jerky in our backpack. We were worried that it might attract bears, so we asked someone, and they were like, "Well, if you stay with me, then you're definitely not gonna see a bear because I've been here 3 years now and not seen a single animal." And we were like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Maybe you'll see one this year." And she was like, "No, I broke my ankle unfortunately, so I'm not gonna be making much progress." So we did not end up. She was not too hopeful that she was going to be able to see it, but she did assuage our fears about the beef jerky enough to just have us go because we were already running late. We had planned on getting there at like 10 or 11, and we got there at like past noon. Noonish, you should be careful. Yes. It's more complicated than I thought. I was just stopping by. Good luck, have fun, enjoy the cast. Glad you had a good trip. Thank you so much, Chev. Have a good one, and hope to talk to you soon again. But yeah, so basically hiking up to the glacier and then back down. And at the time we were like, oh yeah, maybe on the way back down we can go over towards the lakeside. But it was 12:30 by the time we started, and we were not going to have time. We would soon find out. But for the time being, it was a good start. Got to see some like creeks and stuff like that coming from the waterfalls and all that. Just don't bring peanut butter. Yes, that's a good idea. Why did you have beef jerky? Because we needed snacks for the trip because we were going to be eating lunch on the trail. We had eaten a later breakfast, and we were going to need a meal on the trail. So we brought some sandwich fixings and a couple of snacks just to make sure that we weren't going to be like passing out or anything. So we started off, and it was like I was started off like feeling pretty good. We were just kind of like chilling. It was like lowlands. We were going through some like wooded areas. We got to the first of the 3 lakes, and the water was like so clear and pretty. And I was like, I'm feeling okay. Got to get some really good picturesque views. We weren't going too fast. I was feeling pretty good. Started making a little bit of a climb, but it wasn't too steep or anything like that. It was pretty nice, and just gorgeous views. Got to see some like mountains off in the distance. I think the glacier was like right around here-ish. Right in the cleft of these 2 things over here. Oh, another one's showing up. That was quick. Let's go. Let me just real quick go back to the game and get over there, and then I'll continue talking about that. Whoops. There we go. Oh, this one looks like not bad. Alright, we'll wait for the STD to form, and then we'll be good to go. But yeah, so started making our way up. It was so pretty. And it was actually pretty cold, so I had my sweatshirt on to start off. But as the sun got out more and more, it started getting more and warmer, and eventually took it off. But the water was just so pretty. I mean, there were like, the wind was basically causing waves and ripples and stuff like that, so it was glistening. It was just like, this is where it was like, truly felt like, okay, I'm just looking at like a screensaver, like a Windows background or something like that. It was crazy. Axe Armor, welcome to the stream. Can we not abbreviate space-time distortion? Why not? It's much easier. But yeah, it's just so pretty. Oh, it started. Okay. Oh, I threw a random Pokeball. Great. Okay, at least we got a Porygon this time. more my Porygons. Be really exciting if we actually get a shiny Porygon. Oop. Oop, another Porygon. Give me a shiny. I've been patient. There we go. There we go. Yep, more chances of shiny Porygon, which are, it's probably pretty slim to get. I did perfect the Pokédex for Porygon, so it should be the highest shiny odds. But chances of it actually being a shiny are still less than 1%, obviously, so. Where's my third special spawn? Where's my third spawn? No, I don't want that. I want a third special spawn. You get 3. There it is. So no shiny Porygon on this one. At least we got 3 Porygon. Alright. No more items, so let me just try and spawn as many of those 3 Pokemon outbreaks before this thing ends. Oh, well, with that. Hello? Is anything gonna spawn? There we go. Yeah, it's not looking like we're gonna get any luck again. At least we got a quick spawn for the distortion. I kept pressing B over and over again instead of A. Yeah, there it goes. Oh well. 200 plus subs achieved. Congratulations, Axe Armor. Let me just save real quick. Alright. Well, still no shinies, but that's okay. Back to my hunch. So, this was like maybe like a mile or 2 into the hike, and I was actually feeling pretty good. As we're getting like past that first lake, we're now onto the second one. There's like 3 total lakes. We're getting to the second one. Super picturesque. You got a little tributary going into the lake. Again, the wind is blowing the water and causing little ripples and stuff like that. So pretty. What percentage of pictures we have left? We're probably about halfway done. Found this weird little tree that I got a picture in. I got like my bear spray on me. My walkie-talkie's on the other pocket. It was good. It was good. And then we get to the point where one of my friends is like, okay, so now we're getting to the uphill part. And I'm sitting there like, about like 1.5 miles, 2 miles in, like, the uphill part. That wasn't uphill, because we had been going uphill. It just had been somewhat gradual. And it was like, he was like, yeah, so the next part is just like a lot, much steeper. And I was like, oh no. what am I gonna do? So we start hiking up. We get to another lake, which is some of the most turquoise water I've ever seen. It's so pretty. I took a screen or a selfie with it. They took a picture of me. We stopped for lunch like on an overlook of the lake. It was so picturesque and beautiful. Ate some sandwiches, got a little bit of a break. I had started really struggling at that point, so it was good to get a break. And then we start hiking a little bit ways, and then they said that there are some rams just sitting right next to the path. And boy, were there. There were, I think, 4 different rams, all just hanging out. One of them was just hanging out right there. I took a selfie with it, and they were just chilling. They were just hanging out. Bunch of people were around just taking pictures of them. One of them at one point, I think this one, ended up started walking towards, like, down the path towards someone, and she was just, like, petrified. She was, like, slowly backing up, and they were like, get behind the tree, get behind the tree, get out of their line of sight. Don't, you know, you don't want them charging you, obviously. And yeah, eventually, you know, they went on their merry way. They got off the path enough so that people could walk by, and it was crazy. They were just so, like, this guy was just hamming it up for everyone. It was so cool to see. The amount of wildlife we got to see, especially on this hike specifically, was amazing. Rams are huge. Yes. Solo, welcome. Welcome. No shinies, but we are in the middle of the really long hike on a Sunday, and I saw some rams. But yeah, got some of my friends got some really good pictures, including this one. This looks like it's like freaking National Geographic. It's so cool. But yeah, we passed the rams eventually. Kept hiking up. It was exhausting and tiring, and I was, yeah, and other synonyms. But we did get to see this lake some more. It was really pretty. At a certain point, the ripples stopped showing, and it just looked so placidly blue. It was so cool. Getting higher and higher up. Hello, hi Lola. How you doing? How you doing? How's it going, pretty girl? Good girl. Sorry, Lola wants my attention. Love to stick around, but I got a blast. All right, Toonie. Thank you so much for joining. Have a good one. And glad you enjoyed your trip to Michigan. Yes, hi. Good girl. But yeah, so we started hiking up. More and more, there's more and more steps. It's exhausting. This wall actually had like running water flowing down the side of it. It was really cool. There's me in the background waiting to go up. Like I said, you stopped seeing the ripples, and now it almost looked like just like paint. It's just so crazy. Gonna try switching this around again now that I'm home. Best case scenario, everything goes back to normal. Second best case scenario, I lose all the people I'm sub to, which is fine. I want to purge anyway. Well, there you go. But yeah, we kept going up. And then we saw some more goats. This time it was a mom and her baby. So you got the mom over on the left and the baby on the right. The little baby was so cute. They were down at underneath the path, basically. Eventually they climbed up to the path. And actually cut off some people behind. So that guy was like on the back behind the path, and then they had to wait for the goats to get out of the way. So they were just kind of chilling. We took some pictures. At one point, like the baby sheep started going up behind where this guy was. He left, but then a couple people were standing like in basically the same spot, and the baby started like climbing up there, and we were like, you gotta move, you gotta back up, because if you get between the mother and the baby, you're gonna be in serious trouble. So they backed up, and we went on our way after taking some pictures of the goats. I was huffing and puffing, but still working my way up. There was a waterfall coming down from the glacier's lake, and went off this steep cliff. It was really cool. Goats are pretty big too. Yeah, they were large. Yeah, going alongside like these cliffs and stuff like that. It started getting pretty narrow at points. Really cool. Also really exhausting. Saw some more marmots just hanging out on the side. This one was getting a little snack of the grass and stuff. And then we started getting towards the top. It had kind of like leveled off a little bit. There was a little like picnic area almost with some bathrooms and stuff about a half-mile away from the summit. Or it wasn't technically a summit because it wasn't the top of a mountain, but I'm going to call it the summit just because it's easier to call it that. And you can see the 3 lakes that we passed. You had 1, 2, and then this was Grinnell Lake. And then the glacier is up over in this direction over here. And that's me. This is a picture I took of the 3 lakes that we had hiked past. We started right around here-ish, I think, and we were now up here. It was crazy how far we had gone. Rule of nature: don't mess with the mama. Exactly. Yes. We he did that pretty well, I think. But yeah, we just kept taking pictures of this vista because it was just so gorgeous. Literally, the clouds going over the mountain was so cool. And after at the end, we got to the thing, and the person was passing us as we were in that like picnic area, and they were like, only about a half a mile to go, and they called it like lunar almost because it was just like all rocks, and I was like, so the moon's flat, right? And I was like, because I'm worried. By lunar, do they mean like flat, or by lunar do they mean it's just a straight climb to the top? Because rocky could mean anything, and it usually means the latter. And one of my friends was like, okay, so it's probably flat. I mean, the moon's flat, right? I was like, okay, good. It was not flat. It was just stairs the entire way for the last half mile. It was the worst part of the hike. I burned all of my remaining energy getting up those last stairs. But finally, we made it to the glacier. The glacier was over here and over here. Unfortunately, there was no path to get straight to it to actually like, touch it. But we got to the lake that was like caused by the glacier. And the water was cool. It was really nice to feel. And I got to touch the water of the lake. And boy, was I feeling accomplished and exhausted. Finally got up to the top, though. It was gorgeous. There was a little iceberg kind of sitting in there in the water. That's how cold it was. You've had quite the adventure. Yes. It was an awesome trip. Why am I even risking this when I can just change my profile pic and be right back where I was just without my subs? There you go. Yeah, honestly, I would do that. But yeah, there was another little marmot over there. We just took some pictures up here. I was relaxing as much as possible, trying to not die. And then we were starting to think about heading back when we saw some grizzly bears off in the distance on the path on the trail back. We were maybe like 150 200 yards away, so they were off a little bit in the distance. We weren't too close, but they were in the way, and we had to wait for them to pass. Luckily, they didn't come anywhere near us, and it was but it was really cool to see them. It was just so they were so cool. I got to see bears. I was really excited about that. That would have been something I wanted to see. Feels like you had a breath of wild. I literally did. It was so cool. I don't go out into nature that much, so it was a unique experience for me. And I just got to go sub to the important people. Hey, I'm one of those people, I hope. But yeah, this is the view from the top. People had like done a stack of rocks and stuff like that to make the peak higher. They do that on a lot of places, and I added my rock to one of the stacks. They had a few where everyone thought that that it was the end, but then it kept going. But I took this picture of looking down from the highest stack. It was really cool. And then we started heading back down. Once the bears passed, we started heading back down. We saw the same mama goat and baby goat on our way back down. They had moved farther up. This time they were in the way of the path, though. So we ended up having to basically the path went straight from over here down there. We had to climb down here to go around, and they captured a picture of me walking around the goats to avoid them. But yeah, we got past them, kept going down. All of a sudden, probably lost a ton of weight just hiking. Possibly. I didn't measure myself before or after, but I definitely feel a little bit better. So I'm hoping so. And I'm planning on trying to, use some of that to kickstart some weight loss. You, Horsey, Chev, Minx, Lumion, Donk, Doug, and a few Genshin and Overwatch creators. Hey, I'll take it. Thank you so much. But yeah, we kept hiking down. At this point, I was already running on fumes, and it was just like, okay, just gotta keep going. All of a sudden, I start hearing pop, pop, pop every once in a while, and I'm like, someone's shooting guns? Did they run into a bear and they like shot a gun at it? Like, what the heck is going on? And I was like worried that we were gonna run into some dangerous wildlife or something like that, or hunters or something. I was like starting to get a little concerned. But then there was a group stopped and looking down the mountain. And it turned out those pops were not guns. They were rams headbutting each other. We got to see rams headbutting each other. It was so cool. They were really off far in the distance, so that's why it's so blurry. But these two guys were just kind of hanging out. I heard 3 pops before I got to where you could see them. And for a while, this guy would just like, kind of challenge the guy on the left would challenge the guy on the right, and the guy on the right would just like walk away for a little bit, and then he'd like turn around and they both like look at each other for a while. But then eventually the guy on the right had enough of the guy on the left and just ran up and headbutted him right in the horns. It was so cool, and literally like you saw the headbutt. It was a half second, then you heard the pop, and it was so cool. It was like so far away that there was a delay on the sound. So yeah, we saw those. We hiked a little bit more. We saw a deer on the side as well, just kind of chilling, munching on some grass and stuff like that. Did not care for a bit that there were humans passing right next to him. He just kind of chilled and hung out and got a picture of him and then went our way. At this point, we were starting to get worried that it was going to get dark before we got down to the bottom of the hill, because we didn't want to drive in the dark, but it was like an hour and a half, 2 hours back to camp, and it was already starting to become sunset. So we were like, we're definitely not going down to the lakefront now. We got to get down as quickly as possible. So we took breaks as often as I was able to, as infrequently as I was able to without dying. But kept hiking down. This was the second lake again with that inlet, but this time at sunset. It was quite pretty. But I was just wheezing at this point. I was just like, I like kind of tunnel visioned in on like, just don't fall. Just keep moving your legs. Use your arms with the hiking poles to propel you down. I was like, I just need this to be over. At this point, yeah, like look at this. I look like I'm falling asleep. I think I was just like checking to see where my feet were gonna go, but like I'm done. I'm so tired. The vista is gorgeous, but I'm just like, I can't do this anymore. I just need to be done. We finally get down towards the like easier part. We saw this tree that had like a badonkadonk, which I thought was funny, and I thought was a lot funnier because I was exhausted. And then there was a sign that said 0.2 miles to the end of the hike, and I was like, okay, I can do that. And I start pushing, and I keep going, and I keep pushing. What was the elevation? I think we climbed 2,000 feet total. So about a half a mile. It was a significant hike. But that sign, it said 2.2 miles. I keep going. I'm like, there's no way this is 0.2. I still remember so many landmarks that we had at the beginning of this hike. What is going on? There's no way this is 0.2. And we keep going. It must have been at least half a mile before we actually got to the end of the hike. And I was like, that sign, I hate that sign. Why would you lie to me? It's bad enough that I had another half a mile before the end of the hike. You were going to lie to me and say it was 0.2, so I actually pushed myself. It was bad. And I was just wheezing. But then after that, we got to the end of the hike. We high-fived that we were done. We had to walk another half a mile back to the car because we couldn't find a parking spot in the closest area to the trailhead. So we ended up hiking even farther to get back to the car. But when we finally got back to the car, I was just like, done. I'm done. I sat down in the back of the trunk and just was like, just like caught my breath. My ankles were blistered up. But we had done it. We looked at the stats from like people who were like wearing like Fitbits and stuff like that. I think we ended up doing about 12 miles. And yeah, about 2,000 miles elevation change. It was crazy. We ended up, we were originally we're gonna just go back to camp and eat dinner there. We decided we did not want to wait until like 10 p.m. To eat dinner, and have to do it in the dark and tired. So there was luckily a restaurant right by where we parked. So we stopped in. One person got mac and cheese. I got myself a burger that was pretty decent. Got some fries as well, and a lot of water. And then they got a like a strawberry ganache cake or something like that they had. I didn't have it because it had chocolate on it. But yeah, very, very tired. But they also had public showers there, so I took a shower after we ate dinner, and I felt a lot better. And then we drove back to camp, and I just passed out. And then there was this. When I was at the top, I actually etched in mine and my wife's initials into the rock, so that was cool. And then at that night, a couple of my friends took some photos of the stars with like long exposure and got a little picture of the Milky Way. So we got some really, really pretty pictures that day. It was gorgeous. 12 miles uphill is a lot. Yes, it is. I mean, it was 6 miles uphill and then 6 miles downhill. It was awful. It was not fully uphill, but it was still awful. But worth it in the end. Imagine working at that restaurant, just another day in paradise. Seriously, honestly, I would love to work there. It just seems so picturesque. The only thing is the internet's really spotty, but whatever. Let me just make sure that there's no distortions showing up. We're good. But yeah. So after that, we decided we would allow ourselves to sleep in a little bit, which we did, until we found out that we were going to go kayaking the next day on one of the lakes. And originally it was supposed to be like first come first serve starting at 11:30, so we were just going to sleep in, get there for 11:30, but they ended up texting us about a reservation, and they were like, we can do 9:30, and we're like, okay. So we go drive over. I put my phone in a plastic bag so that it doesn't get soaked and waterlogged and all that stuff. And then we find out that we're at the wrong place. As we're getting there at like 9:45 when we're supposed to be there at 9:30, we find out we're in the wrong place. We have to drive another 20 minutes down the road. By the time we end up getting there, we're almost an hour late. But they had our kayaks. We were all set. We get set up with them, get onto the lake, and we start taking pictures. Now, at the time, I didn't realize, but the plastic bag made the photos not so great. They were very blurry because it was taking a picture through a plastic bag. Eventually it said, you might want to clean your lens. The pictures are looking blurry. And I was like, oh, so these pictures are bad. If the phone can recognize it, then that means these pictures are bad. So I took my phone out of the bag and I took more pictures, and they were much better. So we got on the lake, and it's just like, how can you beat this? This is insane. Like, it's a magazine. It's a painting. It's just insane views the entire way. And getting pictures, just kayaking, really, hanging out, chilling on the lake. They said that there were some bald eagle nests along the shore. Unfortunately, we did not get to see the bald eagles. But they did have them like marked off like with buoys around where they were. So I took some pictures of the nests at least. We also saw a hawk flying over near there at one point, which was really cool. I apparently don't know how to take pictures and put my finger in front of the camera for this one, but got some really, really good pictures of the water and stuff like that. It was just picturesque. And then once we were done, we stopped for lunch at a restaurant there. They had huckleberry themed everything, including huckleberry Sprite, huckleberry ice cream, or huckleberry lemonade, huckleberry peach pie, and a huckleberry turnover. And it was all so good. It was delicious. I mean, the Sprite honestly tasted like, what did it taste like? It tasted like something similar that I had before. It was almost like a fruit smoothie, like a fruit float without the ice cream. It was really, really tasty. And then these were both like so good. These were gone in 5 minutes. Between the four of us, we just demolished these. I also had my first bison burger. It was uh, I, I I basically, they had the option of either get the bison burger, which was just regular, or you get it was called the Montana burger, which had like onion rings and barbecue sauce and bacon and stuff like and cheese and stuff like that. And I was like, can I get the Montana burger but with a bison patty? And they were like, sure. So I ended up having that. It was quite tasty. And then we had the dessert. It was awesome. And then after that, we were going to go to the nature center that they had nearby. Unfortunately, it was off season apparently, so we did not get to see that. But we drove back to the campsite, and then the rest of the guys decided they wanted to go on a hike off of the campsite. I was still worried that my lungs were going to explode from the hike yesterday, so I decided to sit that one out and just kind of hang out at camp. I set up a fire. I did a little bit of shiny hunting in PLA. On my Switch, I started a whittling project, and I just kind of chilled. But when they were on their hike, they saw a black bear about 30 feet away, just chilling, hanging out. There was a huge group, so there was no worry that it was going to charge or anything like that. But they got a really good view of a black bear. So I'm a little jealous of that, but it was really cool to see pictures. They ended up going up to it was called Avalanche Lake. And got some really, really nice pictures of the lake about 5 miles away from our campsite, or maybe 3 or 4 actually. They then saw another black bear across the way, across the lake, a bit farther away. There was a bunch of ducks swimming on the lake. It just looked really, really cool. They got some really nice pictures on the lake, and then on the way back, they saw a little bird with a mohawk, which was really, really cool blue. I don't know what kind of bird it is, but it looks really awesome, and I would love to see one in person one day. It was just such a cool looking bird. But yeah, these were the views, and then we got back, we set up the fire, we just kind of sat outside of the campfire, ate some of the more of those rehydrated meals, chatted, relaxed, and then we took some more long exposure pictures of the night sky, and it was just another gorgeous day. And that brings us to Tuesday. Tuesday, we they decided while they were on that last hike that they were going to do a mountaineering hike. And although I would have possibly been willing to go on a hike that morning, the mountaineering hike required some actual like climbing and stuff like that. So I was like, I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. So I sat that one out as well. They got up really early to do it, and it ended up being good because I think a combination between the kayaking and the whittling, actually, I was doing it for multiple hours, and the wood was very, very dense, so I was not cutting it very well. I think I had made my forearms really sore. So I woke up in the middle of the night and my arms were on fire, and I was shivering like when you know how when you get like the flu and you're like completely under the covers and you're like in cozy warm clothing and you're still just shivering uncontrollably. That's what I felt while my arms were like in severe pain, and I was like, I got really, really nervous. It woke me up. I stayed up for like an hour or two after that, just like unable to fall back asleep. I was like super, super scared. No idea what was going on. So I took some Motrin, tried to get back to sleep, drank some water. Eventually I fell back asleep. And they let me sleep in because I wasn't going to go on the hike, and I really needed it because it was just like I think my body finally realized that, oh, you went on a 12-mile hike the other day, you should probably not feel good, because I felt surprisingly good the day after the hike. So I guess it took a day for my body to catch up, but I slept until like 9:30, and I was just like, okay, yeah, I needed to sleep in. While they were on this hike, I decided to very slowly get changed into clothes for the day without getting too undressed at any one point so that I wouldn't get cold and start shivering again. Once that was done, I took down the tent and packed all of the stuff that was still at the campsite and not in the car, and then just basically waited for them to get back. They got while I was doing all that, they got these pictures of like the mountains as they were driving to the thing. They saw some more deer, got some really nice pictures. They saw another ram. And then they started hiking up to the mountain that was in the background of those hidden lake pictures from earlier. Essentially, got to see some really good plant life. They actually got to touch some ice. They managed to get close enough to be able to touch ice from like some of the icy parts of the mountain, stuff like that. And they got some really picturesque views of like the plant life, the surrounding. They saw some more mountain goats chilling, hanging out. It just absolutely gorgeous. This is where they parked, and then they hiked all the way up here, and they actually summited, which was absolutely insane. It was so cool to see the pictures. I do kind of wish I'd been able to go on this, but also at the same time, I would not have been a happy camper doing it. But yeah, it was just absolutely gorgeous. And then they finally came back around noon. We ate some lunch, which was the same as my breakfast, which was beef jerky, apples, some Cheetos. We had given away our butane container to cook like those cook the water for the rehydrated meals, so we just had like our snack food essentially. We packed up the camp. This was the campsite after we took down the tent, and then we drove away towards the last hike we were going to do, which was actually the one that got rained out before on the first day. It was the one with the 2 waterfalls. It was starting to look a little ominous, so we were a little worried that we were going to get rained out. Do a lot of Native Americans live close to the park? When we went to the hotel before we went to the park, I think it was on reservation land. So yeah, there were a decent number of Native Americans that lived close by. But yeah, we started going on that hike to the waterfall. It was so peaceful comparatively. There was a lot of like nice plant life. There was a little bee with some flowers. This was the area where the wildfire had gone, but with that, you also got to see the really easy view of the lake because there were no trees in the way, or no leaves in the way at least. Got some really nice pictures of flowers. There was a cricket that we saw. I really liked it looked like gouges in the mountains from like when the glaciers had receded. Subbed is 46 people now. Far cry from the probably over 500 I had before. 2 years worth of raids made things really cluttered. Fair. But yeah, got some really nice views. This was the river that was leading out of the waterfall. I was worried on this hike because we kept going downhill in the beginning, and I was like, okay, I feel good now, and downhill works for me, but if I'm going downhill now, that means I have to go uphill at the end of the hike, which is not good. Oh, we got another STD showing up. Let's go. Let me real quick hop on over, and then we'll continue with the last bit of our trip. Where's the thing? There it is. All right. And now we wait. All right, but yeah. So I was worried that we were going downhill and that we would have to go uphill, but I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna enjoy it. It's cool. We're going downhill. I feel really good. I'm getting some good pictures. And then we finally got to the first waterfall, and it was beautiful. I love waterfalls. Waterfalls are so cool. There were actually some people we were on a bridge here, right around here. This wood was actually part of a bridge over the waterfall, and there were people jumping off of the bridge into the water below. It was really cool. Oh, STD started. Hold on. All right, let's see if we can't get ourselves a Porygon. Oh, there's one. All right. Oh yeah, this is back to the bad area to get the outbreak, or to get the STD. No, back here. Good. Dang it. It goes through the freaking ground. That's dumb. It literally went through the rock. That's dumb. Super dumb. Hate that for me. And it's a Centigrade. No Porygon again. Oh, maybe we'll get an Eevee. Meanwhile, I'm gonna climb around and grab some items. Ooh, a Flareon. That would be cool if we got that shiny. I would be happy with that. I really just want one unique shiny that I don't have yet. I'd take one. Gotta go shower and stuff after work. Good luck with the hunting. Thank you so much, Solar. Let's see. Boop, 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 boop. Nothing doing there. There you are. Nope, no shinies. Umbreon shiny would be awesome. Come on, man, give me a shiny. My shiny luck's been a bit bad lately in this game. It's been a bit of a shame. Oops. No. And it's still nothing. Oh well. Save. Alright. Back to the thing. Squeebers, welcome to the stream. Appreciate you coming in. We are doing some shiny hunting in PLA, looking for some STD shinies, like Porygon. And while we wait for the STDs form, we are doing a summary of my vacation that I went on to Glacier National Park. We're on the final day in Glacier. We were just on a hike to it was called Virginia Falls. We were going to go to. This is actually St. Mary's Falls. St. Mary Falls. There were two waterfalls on the way. This was the first one. There was the second one about 0.8 of a mile up. But we were looking at this. There were people jumping off of the bridge on the other side over there. But as we were getting pictures and stuff, it started to rain a little bit. And we were really, really worried about getting caught in the rain, especially because only half of us had like anything for the rain. So we decided to basically cut our losses and head on back up the trail. So we only got like 2.5 miles in this hike, and I felt really good at the end, other than the fact that like at the very end of the hike there was a decently steep incline. So I was a little out of breath when we got to the end, but I recovered quickly and we were done. It was a great last hike. I wish more of them had felt like it. It's a gorgeous photo. Thank you. First SD shiny was Cyndaquil before the MMO update. Nice. I think the only one I've ever gotten, or no, I've gotten two, I think. I got one that was an Eevee, and then one that was a Carnivine. Wish there was a good hiking trail near me. Yeah, I think there's a couple of decent ones, but not obviously nothing like this. This is like people around the world come to see this, but yeah. So we finally finished up that hike. We had spent the morning or the afternoon after we had packed up the camp, basically giving away all of our supplies. We still had 4 cans of bear spray that we needed to give away, but luckily there were 4 people about to go on this very hike as we were ending it that were willing to take them, so we handed them off. And then we just had some garbage bags that we just kind of kept for the rest of the trip. So we got rid of all of our supplies. We got rid of all of our extra apples, our snacks, paper towels, toilet paper, the whole like. We got rid of pretty much all of it. So we were very efficient because we needed to get rid of as much stuff as possible from the car so that we would fit all of our luggage in there. And it was still a tight squeeze even after that. Got to bring plastic rain ponchos next time. I did end up buying a poncho. So I was one of the 2 people that actually had something. I was living in Colorado Springs for 6 months, and Garden of the Gods existed there, but I didn't like Colorado, so now I'm in Indiana. Oh, okay. I actually met someone from Indiana while I was on this trip. But yeah, I've never been to Colorado or Indiana, but I've heard both can be very lovely places. Shiny Star Raptor, congratulations, Axe. GG's. But yeah, so we finished up that hike. We got rid of all our stuff. We started driving. We got out of the park. And actually, when we got out of the park, we were listening to some Pokemon orchestra music. And as we were leaving the park, we were listening to that song from Gen 6, with the like sad piano one. Dun 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 dun. That one. It was actually quite fitting. We had been listening to some Pokemon music, and like when we were listening to Pokemon music and like driving through the park, it was like so fitting because it was just like, the adventurous atmosphere of like exploring a new world in Pokemon fit perfectly with like driving through these scenic mountain views. It was just so cool, and listening to the melancholic bittersweet Gen 6 music as we were leaving was just icing on the cake. So yeah, we ended up going and driving out. We were going to stop for gas because I forgot that I had put my passport in my checked bag, which was in the back of the car, buried. And I was going to get it out so that we had it for when we did the border crossing. But the gas was really, really expensive there. So we were like, we'll find another gas station before the border. We did not end up finding a gas station before the border. And we were about 100 yards away from the border. And I was like, I gotta pull over to the side of the road and grab my passport. So we pulled over to the side of the road. There really wasn't much place to do it, but we did it. And I got out. It was quite windy. I opened up the back trunk. I go and grab my passport. I had to get my luggage out of the back seat. So we're pulling bags out of the back seat, or out of the trunk. I'm grabbing my bag, grabbing my passport. Meanwhile, there were some bison along the side of the road. So 2 people start hopping out of the car to go take pictures of the bison. And then a third guy, we had gotten some alcoholic beverages from some people when we went kayaking because they were about to leave and they were looking to offload their extra alcohol supplies. So we ended up taking them. And I had a beer when I was setting up the fire that other night. But the 2 of them decided that now, right as we were about to cross the border, was the perfect time to open alcoholic cans and start drinking. And I'm like, guys, we're about to cross the border. We're not allowed to have open alcohol cans in the car when we're driving. And they're like, oh. So both of them end up chugging their entire thing. and throwing them out into our garbage bag. The other one's taking pictures of bisons in the middle of the road, left his car door open on the side where cars were trying to go past. So I'm like, could you close this before we get our door blown off? All of this happening 100 yards away from the border where anyone could see. It was just like a cavalcade of like, oh God, guys, we look so effing suspicious right now. I just got out, went rummaging through my bag, and then put everything back. 2 of you just now smell like alcohol, and another one nearly let the door get blown off our car trying to take pictures of bison. It was an interesting few minutes. But we got to the Canadian border. The guy was extremely nice. When he asked if we had any alcohol that we were carrying, we were like, oh, we got a couple of wine bottles that one of us bought for like presents, and then we mentioned the cans of beer in the back, and he was like, yeah, I'm sure you'll get that done before your flight out. And he's like, guess he's like, you'll just have to drink them all. What a tragedy. And so the guy was like really, really friendly and fun, and I really liked him. And just, really quickly let us go through. We made it through just fine. It was a very stark difference between that and the U.S. border agent, who was, like, I need to see your face. Take off your sunglasses. All right, guess that's fine. Go. How do you guys all know each other? And then just like, said, all right, goodbye. Go ahead. I don't think he even said, have a nice day or anything like that. Kalos Victory Road fits mountain trip. Yeah, that's fair. I don't think we listened to that one, but we did get some good music. But yeah, so then we were driving back up to Calgary. I was very hungry at this point because I had only had 2 apples, a bit of beef jerky, and some off-brand Cheetos for food the entire day. But we saw a cloud that looked a lot like a whale, and I had them take a picture of it. You're pale enough to pass as Canadian? You betcha. This is actually tan for me. But yeah, so we started driving back up. It was very picturesque again. Sunset. We ended up stopping for gas because we actually needed it, and I don't understand Canadian gas prices, so it was 151.9 units out of units. I don't know what it meant. I don't know if it was $151.09 or if it was $1.51.9, and they just put the point in between the 51 and the 9 for some reason. Whatever it was, it cost about 40 Canadian dollars to fill up half the tank, which came out to about $28 American. So whatever it ended up being, I filled up the tank somewhat to get us to Calgary. We drove into Calgary, drove back to that place that we went to the first time we were in Calgary, the market with a bunch of different restaurants, because I wanted to try a bunch of different stuff, and one of the guys had not been there and had heard that the fried chicken was really, really good. So we ended up going there. This was that friend's first foray into the fried chicken. This was like a truffle parmesan fried chicken with a side salad and some rice balls. We bought a ton of food. I got the actually pretty good pizza, which was, as stated, actually pretty good. I also got some Parmesan Asiago fries from the same Korean barbecue place. 2 people got this fried chicken. We got some carnitas tacos. We got some spicy barbecue fried chicken. We got the spaghetti bolognese again. Unfortunately, the person in front of me bought the last of the garlic knots before I could get any, so we didn't get those. But we got a bunch of food. We all shared, like family style. Where'd you go for vacay? We went to Calgary, then drove down to Glacier National Park in Montana, and then drove back up to Calgary to fly back out. But yeah, so ate a bunch of food. This was all in Calgary. It was delicious. It was getting to nighttime. This was the Calgary Tower again, lit up in like rainbow colors. It was really, really cool. Took some pictures of that. And then afterwards, of course, had to stop at Tim Hortons, get some donuts. I got a maple swirl donut. It felt very similar to Dunkin' Donuts to me, except it seemed like they had better like food options, like outside of like the donuts and the coffee and stuff like that. It looked like they had more like a more wide variety of like actual food and like dinner options, but it definitely had like a Dunkin' Donuts vibe to me, which was cool. But also like wasn't sure. I wasn't as unique as an experience as I thought it was going to be, but it was cool. So we got some Tim Hortons, then went to the hotel. I folded my dirty laundry to make it fit into my luggage, which was a terrible experience. Packed everything in. I had to say goodbye to the pillow I bought, which was really nice, even though it was $5, as well as my towel that I'd bought and the poncho. But everything else fit into my luggage. We had bought a backpack cooler for the trip, and I used that as my carry-on instead of my hiking bag because it was slightly bigger. And I fit everything in there. And I also bought some souvenirs and stuff. So I got all 4 of us got a coaster with 2 mountain goats on it. a mother and a baby, kind of like the ones we saw. They got Lola a stuffed ram toy, which is now a husk with no face, but she did enjoy it for the 3 minutes it existed. Here you go. Good girl. I also got some Christmas ornaments, both from Calgary and from Glacier, because whenever my wife and I go on a trip, we do a Christmas ornament as like a marker that we went on that trip. So we did it on our honeymoon. We did it on the trip we went when we went down to Lancaster, Pennsylvania. We've done it. We did it on our 1 year anniversary trip. We'll get a Christmas ornament to put on the tree. Oh, we got another STD going. Let's go. I'll fly over there and then finish this up. So yeah, I got a bunch of that stuff. Lola, this was her waiting for me to get back home the next day. The next day, I basically got up really early, had more of that hotel breakfast, got to the airport, waited forever. The flight was delayed an hour and a half, got on the plane, and flew back, and then took an Uber back home. It really wasn't much interesting that happened that day, other than some fun people watching. But it was... Lola was very, very upset that she didn't get to see me for a week, and then she was really happy when I finally came home. So it was a good trip, and that's the end of the photos. But yeah, I got the ornaments, I got some fun socks, I got this hat, I got the coaster, I got some Huckleberry lollipops from that Huckleberry place, because I wanted to get some Huckleberry jam, but I was worried about flying with a glass jar in my luggage, so I didn't end up doing that. And then we also had bought some supplies like the cooler. We bought an oven mitt because we were worried about using a pot over fire. But yeah, we ended up getting some supplies and stuff like that that I brought home as well. But it was a good time. Let me put the screen back on. But yeah, it was great. It was a great time. Would highly recommend going there. It is so beautiful. And I want to go to Calgary again. I didn't getting to do nearly enough there because we originally planned on doing like a full day in Calgary on Tuesday, but then we ended up doing 2 hikes and that kind of took up most of the day. So we ended up only getting to eat a late dinner and then go to Tim Hortons, and then we had to go to the hotel and like pack up everything. So didn't really get to do much else. But it was a good day. Or it was a good trip. Microwaved this chicken too long. Now it's too dry to chew. Ooh, I'm sorry. That sucks. And now I'm home. And I have off until after Labor Day on Tuesday. So I'm very happy that that I'm not dealing with that. It's good. It was a good trip. Shiny Star after number 2. Let's go. GG's. Have you tried poutine before? I have not. I actually was thinking about trying it while I was in Calgary, but we didn't end up going to a place that served it. So next time I'm in Canada, I'll have to try it because I wanted to try and do as many Canadian things as I could. Driving in kilometers versus miles was one of them, and trying Tim Hortons was the other. I also broke out my Canadian accent a couple times just for fun. Although never in front of actual Canadians. I wouldn't want to insult them. Solo's not here. It's fine. Jeez, it's taking forever to load. Just hang out up here, I guess. Whew. Might have to go make something else. Oh, I'm sorry, Squeebers. But yeah, I think we'll do this, finish up this STD, and then we'll call it a stream. Thanks so much for listening and hanging out with me while I rambled about my vacation. It was a good time. A lot of really good pictures. And it's probably gonna end up being no shinies, but that's okay. Ugh. I might do another stream later tonight, but no promises. I'm not sure yet. We'll see how I'm feeling. Can't stand the lava can take up the special encounters. I really need a shiny Porygon. I don't need 3 of them spawn at max. I don't need one of them being a single core I can get anyway. Oh god. Ow. Dude. Jesus. No. Stop that. Jesus. Stupid. I can't stand those frickin' water moves. Go to sleep. And stay in the back. Mother trucker. Stop with the frickin' alphas. Golly. No one wants an alpha. Unless they're hunting for an alpha. They can hunt for an alpha anyway. Where alpha spawn. I don't need one right now. STDs are scary enough. Let's see. Yeah, it's looking like no shinies today, unfortunately, but that's okay. Yeah. So many Umbreon have spawned. I'm so wishing that we could have gotten one shiny. Shiny Umbreon's so cool. I don't know why I had like the inkling that I might get a shiny to spawn right there. I was feeling the shiny sound effect about to come on. It felt like kismet, but it wasn't. Yeah, we're not gonna get lucky enough. To be fair, in all of the STDs I've ever done, I've only gotten 2 shinies. And 400 hours of playing outside. They're pretty rare. And he blocked the item from getting the item. Alright, that's a good enough place to end on. You're on early? Yes, Doodle, welcome to the stream. Unfortunately, we're actually about to end off. I was just doing a stream where I summarized my vacation. Showed a bunch of pictures and stuff like that. So, if you want to go back and watch the VOD, I explained the whole trip. Gonna be ending off stream here. I have a feeling you should do one more STD. I want to get off before my wife gets home so that she can get greeted by the dog, because currently the dog is locked in here with me. Plus, I'm thirsty. So we're gonna end it off here. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you had a good time. I appreciate you listening to me ramble about my trip. If you enjoyed the stream and you have not yet liked it and subscribed to the channel, consider doing so so you can catch every single one of these as they come out. Regardless, though, we are going to go pass on the love to another creator. Let's see if Zed is live. I bet Zed's live. Get the shiny in the next distortion. Know that I picked it. Will do. Yeah, Zed is... Oh, Zed's doing a Nuzlocke and Soul Silver. Yo. Let's go. Let's pass on the love to Zed. With a hashtag #ElectriCrew. Go show some love to Zed. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I might be on later tonight, but if not, I will see you in the next one. And until then, bye. Oh, whoops.